Hi, it's Chris Watkin here, and I'm with Iain White, the inimitable estate agency consultant to the UK industry. Iain, I want to talk to you about a couple of things today. The first one is there seems to be an obsession with estate agents talking about their competitors. Talk to me.
Yeah, it's a big bugbear of mine, to be honest with you. I think there's a growing army through social media that use the social media platforms to put out their negative views of how their competition do things or are performing, etc., etc. And my long held and very strong belief is that they'd be much better off focusing on their own businesses.
Are we talking about people who overvalue, cheap fees, giving the service away, that sort of stuff? Are we
There is
talking about
that. I
purple
mean,
bricks or local agents?
yes, I mean, you may have people criticising that agent B is doing a low fee or overvalues, but let's be honest, most agents from time to time will do a low fee and overvalue. A lot of it will be about the bigger agents with the bigger budgets. It's difficult for us to get any headway in a marketplace when, of course, that agent some time ago would have been the smaller guy that
Yes.
opened up. I mean, no one said it's going to be easy.
Do you think it's a human trait that if we're not doing well, we tend to hit out at other people, like tall poppy syndrome?
I think it is, but I don't think it's a helpful one because I don't think hitting out resolves any of the issues that exist in your business. And the people who shout the loudest tend to be the ones with the biggest problems in their own business, in my experience.
Okay, so what I know you consult with you're a consultant for many agents. If someone pulled you aside in the pub and offered you a pint of your finest refreshing beer, what advice would you give to someone who was a moaning agent, as you would say?
Stop moaning. It doesn't solve any problems in your own business. Focus on you. Focus on your people. Focus on your strengths, your weaknesses.
That's really hard, isn't it? When looking at yourself, you might actually find fault in yourself.
As I said, no one said it's going to be easy. I think finding fault in yourself is actually very cathartic and is probably the route to success, or the quickest route to success you can find. It's only by mending your own faults or your own issues within your own business that you're going to be able to move forward. Knowing or moaning about your competition is going to have no impact.
I mean, some people actually say that moaning about your competition, you're actually moaning about yourself.
Yes, it's very possible that some people are actually seeing themselves in the competition and it's some sort of weird.
Do you think it's jealousy? Is it regret, or all the above, or any other emotions?
All of the above, but probably the biggest one for me would be a deflection of their own inadequacies.
Okay. What do you think are the biggest inadequacies of estate agents today in 2019, 2020?
I think they possibly underestimate how difficult it is to have a truly successful business, both in terms of whether that be the service levels, the profitability, the market share growth. I don't think it's an easy. It's a very simple process. Estate agency. It's very difficult to be truly successful. Much more difficult than in my day. Transaction volumes are down, etc., etc. Other challenges. So I think they underestimate it, and when they hit that underestimation buffer. Their reaction to that will depend on whether they push through it or stay on the wrong side of it.
Is it a lack of systems? Is it a lack of belief? Is it poor staff?
I think it's probably undefined culture would be the biggest thing I see, where the brand has a sort of blur of, doesn't really stand for anything. The people are a bit confused as to how they're supposed to behave. The pay and reward might not be aligned to how the business wants to behave.
What does good look like then? You go to a lot of agents. I know you consult with a lot of agents that are people think a lot of. Let's look at culture to start with. What makes good culture? Does it start at the top? Does it start with the staff? Is it a bit of both?
I think it has to. A culture has to be aligned all the way through a business in the fact that every single person needs to understand the decision making process and be on board with it, and that everybody is pulling on the same. They're all aligned to a goal and a vision.
Okay, but let's say there's an estate or letting agent here today who's pulling their hair out. What's the first thing they should do if they think actually, we're like ships in the night. We're all kind of going in the direction, but everyone's pulling in different directions. What can they do? You're with this agent. You're having a pint after EA Masters. What free advice would you give to someone? Let's give some value to these people.
I think the first thing I would say would be to fully understand the type of business that you want. So some of them are very confused that I meet in the fact that, because there is no good or bad.
Is this their why then? Their why they
they've got to understand why are they in business, what do they really want? Not everybody wants to build a multi-million pound empire, but in the same breath, not everybody wants to go to work 5 days a week. And some people are happy to earn X amount of money and work very, very hard. Other people would be happy earning less but have some time back. And I think you have to very clearly set out that, what does good look like for you? Because certainly with my clients, good look, I could have them all in the room with you now and they'd all have a slightly different version of good. Then you build the culture and the ethos around that. Then you put in the people that fit that culture, the systems and processes, and build an aligned business to the end goal.
So really it comes down to sorting your own SH1T out, and then basically getting the right people and the right systems in place. Which is more important, right people or right systems, or both?
They're both very important. For me, people trump systems. I think good people with poor systems would beat bad people with good systems. But that's a view that others might say differently. And
do you think, a lot of people out there saying there's no such thing as a hard-working valuer out there, that they're all millennials and they're all lazy. I know we're going to talk about the millennials in greater detail in another video. But what would you say to anyone who says, I've got some poor staff? Do you think is it poor staff or poor leadership?
I would say 9 times out of 10 it's poor leadership. I think it's the inability of the leadership to adapt to the new type of person coming into the industry.
Do you think that's to do with the fact is that probably most estate agency bosses probably worked for your Countrywide or one of your corporates and probably haven't been on any management training for many, many years? Is there a lack of training and development in estate agency? Is that a reason why we don't motivate our teams very well?
Some businesses spend an awful lot on leadership training and they reap the rewards. I think there is generally, if you took the average pound spend in the UK versus, let's say, Australia, where we know the standards are a bit higher in this area, yes, I think it's an under-resourced area in the UK. I think it's a combination of just stubborn leaders that just change is not their bed partner. They're not willing to change for the workforce, but that's a completely flawed mentality because they've got no choice. They have to understand the workforce. The workforce doesn't have to understand them. They can go and work for a more enlightened business. So I think that's I think leadership is an ever-changing, ever-moving thing.
What would you say to any staff member who has a pain in the backside boss, who doesn't know what they want? Is it a case of talking to your boss or going elsewhere and finding someone else?
No, I think I'd always say talk to your boss first and express to them honestly and openly how you feel. And if they respond in a positive way, brilliantly. If they don't, you may have to consider your future elsewhere, yes.
Let's just leave finally on systems. What does good systems look like?
Good systems are ones that are very clear. They're very simple.
Because you were a big wig for Romans, big operator in the southeast. Were you system orientated there?
We were system orientated, but the systems were operated by great people.
And you need both, do you?
I think you certainly need to be both to have a business that went through that type of extraordinary growth. If you have to have one, have the best people you can afford. The best people you can afford tend to systemize anyway.
Yes.
They tend to have systems and they almost can be a little bit OCD, the very best people, with they're just not willing to let go of a piece of business or not willing to let go of a customer service opportunity. They have that go the extra mile approach.
So it's worth paying that extra few grand for that great value or neg.
Yes, and making sure that they don't feel that they're not getting the right training, the right leadership, the right environment, because they'll just become a competitor.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.